Welcome to the channel. Thank you for deciding to watch this video. Do you want to master the anatomy and physiology and biology portion of the TEAS exams? Learn the test-taking strategy to be able to answer questions flawlessly. You are in the right place. Stick around. Let me show you the tips and tricks on how to answer these questions and how to tackle them even if you don't know the answer. Buzzwords, I call them. Let's go. How do you answer question? Read it from the back. What is the question saying? Regulate hormones. That means we worry about hormones, right? Which body system regulate hormones? There's 4 body systems: reproductive, neurological, endocrine, and lymphatic. As you can see, each of them have a specific function. They all have hormones. You have a reproductive organ that there are hormones over there. Neurological and system that have hormones that take in, usually they are like neurotransmitters and other hormones. You have an endocrine system made up of a bunch of hormones, and the lymphatic. But the question say regulate hormones. So the most important that most of our hormonal system are from endocrine gland. Therefore, this is the right answer. Number 3 is your right answer because it's endocrine and mostly deals with regulation of hormones. The next one is the primary site of carbohydrate absorption. Which part of the gastrointestinal tract is the primary site of what? Carbohydrate absorption. I'm going to underline the keyword. It said carbohydrate, right? Absorption. And is the only primary site. And is the next one is GI tract, gastrointestinal tract, the primary site about what? Carbohydrate. Then the next thing you look at is the 4 answer choices. Make sure all of them are part of the gastrointestinal tract. Of course, stomach is part of it. Pyloric is part of it. Jejunum is part of it. Duodenum is part of it. And this is the way you look. Your esophagus come like that. So your mouth, you eat. Who come from your mouth, esophagus to your stomach. Then you go to the pylorus. Then you go to the small bowel. That's the jejunum. Then you go to the ileum. And then you go to the appendix into your colon. And you go, oh, this is our portion of the colon. This is your stomach. The last portion of your stomach is called pylorus before you get into the small bowel, right? This is the small bowel. Thus, but the small bowel is divided into 2. The first is 3. The first portion is what we call the duodenum, right? The second portion is the jejunum, and the third portion is the ileum. Carbohydrate absorption usually occur in the jejunum. That is the best place it occur before you get to the ileum. So this is your right answer. Okay. Like I said, it's just content you're going to use, but don't let them trap you. Same thing, bile to help digest fat. Which organ produces? The key word is produces, not storage. Produces. Okay, we are not dealing with storage. There's 2 things that help with fat digestion. It's the liver and the gallbladder. Stomach does not help in terms of all the chemicals needed, the enzymes that is needed to help with the what? Fat digestion, right? Pancreas may also help with that. But the question is bile to help with fat digestion. You see, the pancreas can secrete amylase and lipase, right? But this is talking about what? Bile. This is the green substances. The green substances is between your gallbladder and your liver. But what is the relationship? The liver makes it and give it to the gallbladder and store it. If this is your liver, the gallbladder sits here like that and store the bile until you need it and then evacuate it into the GI tract. Therefore, who is producing it, right? Not who is storing it, is the liver. Who stores it is gallbladder. So 3 is the right answer. Next question. Food from entering the trachea. Which structure prevents food from entering the trachea? I will show you some technique that you can use to answer the question. That means it has to be the upper portion. It should be above the trachea. The diaphragm is way down here, right? Now you have three structures above. The first thing that prevents food from getting into your airway is the epiglottis. It's right in the middle, and it closes in support portion of your in the upper airway, and it closes it so that food doesn't go into your trachea. So this is epiglottis before the pharynx and larynx, mostly speech related information, but epiglottis is very, very important. Number three, oxygen blood away from the heart. Which blood vessel carry? So carrying oxygenated blood. Keyword oxygenated. Oxygenated blood is usually red, right? It has oxygen. It's not dark. Okay. The only oxygenated blood in the vein is in the pulmonary vein. This is generalized. It said oxygenated blood away from the heart. Pulmonary vein, blood from the lung, go to the heart using the pulmonary vein. Questions say away from the heart. Therefore, you're going to eliminate all the veins, and it's going to be arterial before you get to the capillary. Capillary doesn't take the blood away from the heart. The main thing is your arteries, and it's oxygenated. Packaging and transporting protein. Which organelle is responsible for packaging and transporting it? There's a key word here, packaging and transporting, right? There's two things you have to know. Every time you see ribosome and endoplasmic reticulum, think about protein. They make the protein. They send it to the Golgi apparatus. It sends them away. It packages it and sorts it. The lysosome, if there is bacteria around, it kills it. So Golgi apparatus is responsible for packaging and transporting it. What is the primary waste product excreted by the lung? Remember, key concept is waste product, right? And the lung, there's two things that happen in the lung: exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. There's nitrogen there, but we don't think about it, right? But what do? We take in oxygen and give out what? CO2. If you're giving something out, it's a waste. Therefore, the question is a waste product. Not oxygen is not the waste. Therefore, it has to be carbon dioxide. You see how I'm approaching them? You master it. In which phase of the cell cycle does DNA replication occur? DNA, right? You can see that we have G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase, and M phase. DNA replication occur in the S phase. That's where things try to replicate. So S phase is where DNA replicate. So as you can see, I'm just going straight to the point and showing you how you can eliminate the answers. What is the primary organ, the number one organ of the female reproductive system that produces eggs? First of all, keyword is production of what? Eggs. So which one? That means all of them has to be female reproductive system. The uterus is part of it, the fallopian tube, the vagina, and the ovaries. And this is what it look like. This is the uterus, and the cervix is here, and your vagina here like that. The fallopian tube comes in, and they have finger-like projection, and the ovaries fit here like that. Right? So where would which reproductive system that produces egg? The ovaries is way here. The uterus cannot produce egg. The fallopian tube can carry the eggs after they fertilize. The vagina is far away from the eggs. How can it produce it? Right? So the ovaries, you see, I'm trying to show you. First, you have to know your anatomy, draw the diagram. You can see, oh, this is where it is coming from. So 4 is the right answer. And the last one. In DNA, adenine pairs with which what? Base. No, you have a DNA and then you have a RNA. In the DNA, A pairs with the T, right? And G pair with the C. Therefore, adenine is going to pair with what? Thymine, right? That's the best way to master it. So A to T and G to C. This is the way you can master it. So therefore, this one is the right answer. This pair with that, and then this pair with that. There is no thymine in the RNA. So the RNA, instead of the thymine, A pair with uracil. So this answer choice is number 3. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. If you like this video, put the click button on, subscribe to more content like that. This is a series. We have a playlist. You can watch it on my website or YouTube channel. Take care of yourself and good luck.